So the boys at Artec have sent me a brand spanking new Welding helmet to try out. Now this is a really exciting day for me because this is the first of hopefully many things to review. So quick disclaimer, I've never done a review video before, so I'm not quite sure how this video is going to come out. I'm going to do my best and I'm going to wing it as we go along. So the first thing first, the box it comes in is a nice box.
I like that boulder. That is a nice boulder.
Really easy to view the contents of the kit and helmet, everything as a whole. And most importantly on the side here, you've got the specs with no confusing jargon, which is nice. Couple of nice spare screens. Looks like they're going to be for the front of the lid, which is really nice. Now we've got quite a large viewing glass on there. There's probably a technical term for that. I don't know what it is, but that's nice and big. Nice and big. That's what she said. Some sort of belt. We've got some more screens. Obviously there for viewing glass. I'm going to guess there for a secondary window on the helmet. Helmet bag. Some form of tube. I'm not quite sure what they are, but we'll have a look in a second. So the helmet itself, let's have a look. Actually reminds me of one of the Daft Punk helmets, which is pretty cool. Right, so this is actually an air-fed mask. Now I've never used an air-fed mask before. I know I should, but just force a habit. And I'm taking my helmet off, on and off every 2 seconds because I don't like looking through the viewing glass when I'm not welding. I like to flip the helmet up and to be fair, just take it off in between doing operations. So that's why I've never worn an air-fed mask, because just all the hassle of unplugging it and everything. Saying that, I've never actually worn one, so it'd be interesting to see how we get on with this. But yeah, a nice big viewing glass. Right, and to remove the front shield, there's a couple of clips in there. You just about get to them. I'm not going to use the yellow one because I don't like looking through yellow. I know people like looking through different tints and stuff. I'm going to go with basic clear one because it makes the most sense to me. It looks like we've installed the viewing glass, the viewing window in this area here. Do we need batteries? Right, so we need batteries. Which ones do we need? Not quite sure, it doesn't really say on there. Let's see if it says in the manual. It does. 2 CR2450s. So let me just get on the phone. Let me just order a couple of them batteries.
2 hours later.
I'm actually surprised how clear this glass is. I know I look a bit silly right now, but really clear. Right, so before we install this in the helmet, it's going to be easier to show you this now. But we've got like a nice little display here. Obviously you've got your functions, and you can see there it cycles through your functions. So you've got your shade, up and down. And a good thing I've noticed as well is you've got this like, and a nice little feature I've noticed as well is that we've got this test button here, so you can cycle through your different shades and then you can press the test button and it shows you obviously that particular shade, sensitivity, delay. Okay, then when you press the mode button you cycle through your grind, cut and weld functions, which is pretty cool. Now it'd be interesting to see how accessible that grind function is. Now with my speed glass, you've got a nice little button just there, and that flips it onto the grind mode, nicely accessible. So yeah, we'll get this fitted into the helmet and then we'll have a look how it goes together. Right, so before we go any further with that, we'll go through the rest of the contents of the box. This is an air-fed mask, so we should have some form of air feed in here. That's nice, isn't it? All nice and organised in like a nice little CNC cup foam package. Very nice, that. We know what that is. What's that? Battery. Battery charger. Mains plug 4-cent charger. What we've got here? Oh, spare headband. Right, so that's obviously an air filter. This is the air pump. Let's take it apart nicely, shall we? It's a nice little unit, isn't it? What's this? Alright, okay, so air filter goes in there. Does it go in a certain way? Yes, it does. Okay. Okay. So I'm guessing you've got like a little gauge here, it seems to be counting up. Not sure what that is. Alright, okay. Litres, so I guess that's maybe litres of air a minute. I'm guessing for some applications there is some sort of welding practices that might be important. So you've got 3 different speeds for the air. Alright, let's just tidy up all the junk we don't need. Okay, so give me a minute, I'm going to figure all this out. I'm going to set this up, set that up, see you in a sec. Right, so looking at the instructions, this is meant to mount on my waist. And it comes with an adjustable belt. Now, I'm not going to lie, I'm a 42-inch waist. I'm an absolute unit of a man. So let's see if this fits the larger gentleman. But hopefully they've considered the larger gentle being. Oh. And they have. Kudos. Right, so that sits on there. We have got the snake, which I'm guessing is the air feed. That plugs into there. Okay. Right, let's get this bitch on. Right, so here's the helmet, here's a bit of a walk around. We've got the air feed on the back, we've got our attachment hose, we've got our helmet. You put the helmet on. Obviously that flips up so you can stow the viewing glass out of the way. Now one thing I found with it is to adjust it, you've got to flip the top piece up and you can just about get your thumb in there. But the problem is there's no backlight on the LCD, so if you've got a bit of light you can probably see what you're doing, but from what I've just done you can't see diddly squat on that little screen. There's no backlight, so if you remove it you can obviously do your usual adjustments, you can see, but it might have been nice to have like a little to have the LCD backlit for a couple of seconds while you're adjusting it, so you don't have to remove the helmet. Now again, I've never worn a air-fed helmet before, so the first thing I noticed when putting this on without the air feed on was that it just instantly misted up inside there with condensation from the breathing. But as soon as I turned on the air feed, the condensation cleared up in about 2 or 3 seconds, so that's pretty good. It disconnects nice and quickly for when you're taking the helmet on and off, which is nice. The headband feels really comfortable. In fact, it probably suits my massive head. The speed glass that I use, as much as I try to adjust it, doesn't really sit on my head the way I'd like it to. It sort of like sits on the half top of my dome, whereas this one feels a lot, sits a bit deeper on my head. Overall, this actually feels a bit more comfortable to wear. Now, the viewing area inside the helmet has actually got these two little side windows here, which is nice because it gives you the feeling of not being enclosed as much. One of the main reasons I love my speed glass is these massive windows on the side, which makes the helmet feel really airy to wear. Does that make sense? This has the same. If anything, not as nice as a speed glass, but it's a nice touch nonetheless. On the speed glass, the windows are here, right in your peripheral vision. On this helmet, they're a bit sort of here, so it just depends what you're used to. To me, I'll get used to it.
Later.
So I thought the best way to give a honest review on this helmet is to spend some time with it, wine it, dine it, take it to dinner, take it to bed, you know, all that stuff, rather than just take it out of the box and just tell you it's the best helmet in the world. However, we're not far from the truth. It's a real good helmet. We enjoy it. In fact, I can't use this helmet anymore because Luke, who is one of my employees, has actually started to use this helmet full time. So unfortunately, we've only got the one, and Luke just really likes to wear this helmet. Now, the reason why Luke likes to wear this helmet is Luke wears his welding helmet for absolutely everything. If he's cutting stuff in a bandsaw, he wears his helmet. If he's on the linisher, he wears his helmet. If he's drilling a hole, he wears his helmet. His helmet lives on his head day in, day out. And of course, one of the main features of this helmet is you can flip up the welding screen portion of the helmet, and that gives you a nice clear viewfinder here, which means he's not got to take his helmet off all the time. Obviously previously he was looking through the viewing glass, and now he doesn't need to. Now, before it was commandeered off me, I did manage to get a week's worth of use out of this helmet, and I'm actually very impressed. There's a few things that I would change, but me being me, I don't like change. When I started welding, I always wanted the speed glass, just because, you know, the way it looks, I think it looks fucking awesome. But this is also the XXI model, and it has like little viewing windows here. So actually when you're wearing the helmet, it feels really light and airy to wear because you can see quite a wide cone field of view. Now, this has something similar. It does have some viewing glasses on the side here, but I do feel when I wear this helmet, they're a bit narrower. So although I can see either side of the viewing glass, the overall peripheral vision is narrower. Now, that's just down to personal preference. Before I had this helmet, I had a very old ESAB Warrior, I think it was, and it had a really small window. So when when you wore it, you feel like you was enclosed, maybe a bit claustrophobic in some ways. But definitely the side viewing area is a definite bonus on this. Now, if that's not your bag and you like being enclosed and claustrophobic, they do also supply some blackout shades. What I can tell you though is that the viewing glass in this is much clearer, it's bigger, and overall, I dare say, as much as I do love my speed glass, is that overall the viewing area in this is much better to see through. The clarity when you're welding is much nicer. This has also got like a nice clear tint to it. This has got a bit of a green tint to it, so that helps a bit as well. I know there's something to do with green and blue tints to do with eye strain. I know people react differently. Now, one of the things I didn't like about this helmet was the actual physical weight of the helmet. Now, I believe this one weighs, without the hose, on our scales, about 1.1, 1.2 kilos, whereas the speed glass on my scales were about 0.5 of a kilo. We weighed this, just the helmet by itself, without the battery pack and without the hose. Now, I'm not quite sure if it was the weight of the helmet or because maybe the hose is a bit too short, but what I found was that when I wore this helmet down on the back of my head, the ear band put quite a bit of pressure on the back of my head. Now, I'm not sure if that's the hose sort of pulling back on the helmet as I'm looking down, and that's sort of like forcing that into the back of my head. Now, the actual physical weight of the helmet, you know, I know it weighs twice as much as my speed glass, but you know, you've essentially got two welding helmets in there, so trade-off, I guess. Now, this was the first air-fed helmet I've ever worn. I know we should wear air-fed helmets with all the fumes and stuff, but I've just never ever got on with them, hence why I use my nice airy speed glass. Luke, however, is always moaning about fumes and stuff, so this was a bit of a godsend for him. He keeps it charged all the time. So, yeah, obviously, air-fed mask. This is the little pump. You've got a nice little filter in there. Don't forget to take off the cellophane wrapping when you put it in. The only thing I can't get on with this is I can't seem to lock the filter in. As much as we've tried, but that holds it in just nice. Battery life is actually really good on this. I don't think I've actually seen Luke charge it in over a week. I'm not sure how pedantic he is turning it on and off, but you have got several different modes in there for airflow. Again, stuff I don't know, but I'm guessing that if you're welding certain types of steel or metals with chemicals, I'm guessing you're required by health and safety to have a certain amount of airflow in the helmet to be able to weld that particular material or operation. The battery pack sits nice on the side. Now, the battery pack has a nice aircraft style seat buckle, and it sits comfortably on your waist. I'm quite a big gentleman. I'm a 42-inch waist. I'm an absolute unit of a man, and the belt is big enough for that. So if you're a big guy, don't worry about it, it's gonna fit. And then you can choose your orientation, there, you know, have a little teapot, short and spout. You can put it on your back, whatever makes comfortable for you. My other little quirk with this thing is to adjust the settings on the viewing glass. I'm not sure if you can see it in there, but you can probably just about see the buttons in there. Now, you can't really adjust them when you're wearing the helmet. You've sort of got to, as you're wearing it, just sort of flip the helmet up slightly. You can get your thumbs in there and you can tweak with all the settings. It's too much of a faff to take the glass out every time. I guess that's a trade-off of having the top part flip up. You've got all your usual modes in there. You've got your delay, your sensitivity, you've got a grinding mode in there, you've got a MIG mode in there, and you've got a TIG mode in there as well. It does go light enough for TIG, I found. You've got several different shade settings in there. I like to weld TIG on the lighter side of things, and this did satisfy that. I know some people like to weld it on the darker settings, so either way, you've got enough adjustability in the settings to set this up to your preference. You've got a nice elasticated band in here to sit around your chinny chin chin and the top of your head, to obviously to seal in for the airflow. That does put out quite a bit of air. So now another benefit of the air-fed mask is that in the summer, we know, we've all been there, you're under the hood all day, tigging all day long. It gets hot, no doubt about it, and you'll have streams of sweat pouring down your face and into your eyes. You know exactly what I mean, you've been there. And with this, with the airflow in there, you're going to be nice and cool. So quality of life improvement there by not sweating your bollocks off. So would I recommend this helmet? Absolutely. How much is it? £498. Now that's bloody good value. To put into perspective, I did a bit of research and I was finding air-fed speed glasses and ESABs for about 800 to £1,000. I guess health and safety approved stuff has a bit of the price tag on it, so to save 300 quid and not sacrifice quality of the overall unit, that's bloody good value. Now, once they bring out their non-air-fed version of this mask, I'm pretty sure I'm going to buy one of those as well, and we'll stick it with the Artec mobile fabrication station, so we've always got a helmet in that box. So yeah, I hope I've not waffled on a great deal. I've given you all the information you would like to know regarding Artec's new Spiritus helmet. Head over to the website, there's a link down below. So yeah, thanks for watching my very first product review. Hopefully there'll be more in the future, who knows. Yeah, thanks for watching. Go to Artec, buy this helmet, it's a good price.